Good afternoon, members of Harambe Circle. Thank you for tuning in to this webinar. We welcome you. My name is Gladys Gichohi. I am the head of legal services and company secretary Harambe Circle. And I'm so delighted that you have chose to join this webinar today. We really appreciate you even for being members of Harambe Circle, for choosing to be members of Harambe Circle. We thank you. This webinar is a legal webinar just prepared to give you some insights into the cooperative movement, the governance, and I will be looking at a few topics. And by the end of this webinar, I am hoping that our members will have a few insights into and knowledge into the SACCO governance and also the SACCO regulatory framework, and also look into some issues that usually disturb us, issues like the issues of guarantors, issues of next of kin when member succession, when the member passes on, and also issues to do with conveyancing in the circle, and any other issue that the members may want to engage us in. So I am very, very hopeful and expectant that it's going to be a very exciting engagement, and that members are going to participate and we are going to learn from each other. So once again, we welcome you, and I request you that you may subscribe to our channel, hit the like button on the YouTube channel. You can also go to our other social media forum platforms like the X, WhatsApp, and Facebook. So thank you very, very much. So like I said, my name is Gladys Gichohi, and I work in the legal department. It's one of the departments of Harambe Circle. And our main duty is to guide and advise the circle on legal matters, including issues of reviewing the existing contracts and agreements, issues of the securities, and also ensuring the circle's compliance to legal and statutory requirements, and also identifying and managing the legal risks in the circle operations. Under me, we work as a team. We have the legal section, headed by the legal manager, and we also have the delegate section, which deals with our delegates, headed by the relationship officer for delegates. And Madam Rosemary Oko, the legal manager, is the Tikoishi Naikumi. And we also have the security section, headed by Mr. Amos Campbell. So that's where we are in terms of supporting the legal function of the society. Now, members may want to know, I know you're members of the circle, and just to give you a background on what a cooperative is. And as you may know, a cooperative is an independent association of members who have come together with the common purpose of pulling their resources together for the mutual economic and social benefit through a jointly owned, democratically controlled process. When I say democratically, it is to mean that the members, they join voluntarily, and they also control, they choose how the circle is run, and who manages the circle in terms of the board members and how the circle is going to be run. So a circle specifically is a savings and credit cooperative, which is a special type because it offers financial services with a primary focus of mobilization of funds and provision of affordable credit to its members, who are both its owners and users. So Harambe Circle is one such cooperative. It is a circle because it's a financial circle. So the key distinction between circles and cooperatives is that the cooperative is a larger definition where we have all these members coming together. So we have the financial cooperatives like ours. Then we have those others related to the sectors they are in. For example, we have several types of cooperatives. We have producer cooperatives, we have consumer cooperatives, we have worker cooperatives, we have housing cooperatives, we have financial cooperatives like ours, the new generation cooperatives, the multi-stakeholder cooperatives. We even have like the transport cooperatives where we have the boda bodas, the matatus. We have non-profit community service cooperatives. We have church cooperatives. So there are all manner of cooperatives. That is, so the cooperative is the broader term but a SACCO means the financial cooperative, where Harambe SACCO falls. Then just to maybe inform the members or to remind them, cooperatives are based, they work on various principles. So the first principle of cooperative is the voluntary and open membership, meaning that members are free to join the SACCO, and it is open to them as long as you meet the requirements that are set by the Act and also by the bylaws. Then it is a democratic member control organization, meaning that we get to choose our leaders and to say how the cooperative is run. Then there's also the value of member economic participation. That's why we are pulling our resources together and getting affordable credit. Then the other value for cooperatives is autonomy and independence. So cooperatives are autonomous, they are self-help organizations and controlled by their members. For example, Harambe SACCO was started as a merry-go-round, and it's a self-help organization by members of the Office of the President. And so you can see it is controlled by the members. Then the other principle for cooperatives is education, training, and information. So members of the cooperative should get education and training and information about their SACCO. And then there's also the principle of cooperation among cooperatives, that cooperatives should get together, they should assist each other, and they cooperate. That is the spirit of the cooperative movement. Then we also have concern for community. And so cooperatives should be far-reaching and to be able to have a good effect, a socio-economic effect on the community. So those are the cooperative principles. Then we also have some cooperative values. And these values are several. We have one for self-help. The other one is self-responsibility. The other one is solidarity. You always see cooperatives come together. Then we have equity. Then we have equality. All members of the cooperative are equal, and democracy. And this is seen through how even the elections are conducted. The other very important thing, members, is that we have ethical values for the cooperatives all over the world, and these are values that every member should embrace. And so these ethical values are honesty. Members are supposed to be honest. Then openness is supposed to be open, and also the SACCO itself, the SACCO management. Then the social responsibility and caring for others. Then SACCOs are also premised on good governance. And going forward, we want to have good governance like any other organization. And so these principles, we have the ones of participation. Members should be able to participate, accountability, the way how the SACCO is run. The SACCO management should be accountable. The members should be accountable. Everybody in the SACCO should be accountable. Then there is also consensus orientation. We should agree on issues. Then efficiency and effectiveness in terms of the way service is given to the members. Equity, all members should be treated equally, even in terms of products and how we serve them. And then respect for rules, policies, and regulations. We have regulations in the SACCO. We have the Act, we have the regulations thereof. We also have the bylaws. We also have policies and procedures. All these should be respected by everyone in the SACCO, be it members, be it staff, be it the board and the managers. Then we also have the principle of strategic and visionary leadership. And this is seen where we have visionary leaders. We also have a strategic plan for the SACCO, and it's part of the SACCO governance. Then you need to have knowledge and skill in leadership and management. So the managers should be skilled for the jobs they do, and also the leaders that we have should also be trained properly to have the skills to run the SACCO in a proper way. So the other thing, members, just to give you maybe a snapshot of the cooperative movement, maybe some statistics. Globally, the United Nations recognizes the role of cooperatives in attaining the Sustainable Development Goals and declares the year 2025, the coming year, will be the second International Year of Cooperatives. And so coming to the Kenyan landscape, and these are statistics drawn from the SASRA Annual SACCO Supervision Report 2023, which was launched last week by SASRA. In Kenya, in year 2023, total assets grew by 9.17% to 971.96 billion in 2023, from 8930.30 billion in 2022. Regulated SACCOs, the total assets to the national GDP is at 6.43%. Total deposits grew by 9.95% to 682.19 billion. The gross loans grew by 11.5% to Kenya shilling 758.57 billion. Total membership grew by 6.57% to 6.84 million. And the members in 2022 from 6.42 million members in 2022, that is 2023. So total employees in the SACCO movement, in the cooperative movement, increased to 11,883 employees in 2023 from 11,188 employees in 2022. Like we have seen, why am I giving you these statistics? It's because we know that SACCOs are very, very important, just to show you that they are very, very important vehicle of the growth of the economy in the country. And they have a very pivotal role in promoting the financial inclusion of SACCOs. And we have also said that members are governed by the board, and also they are also owned by the members themselves. And we have seen that the objectives of the SACCO are to organize and promote the welfare and economic interests of its members and provide a source of fair loans and at reasonable rates of interest, and also promote personal growth through the introduction of new products and services that will promote the economic base of its members. And SACCOs also ensure progress of its members and society through continuous education programs and proper use of credit, reduction of poverty, human dignity, and cooperation. And we also have affiliation of these to the national cooperative organizations. So, and just to let the members know, just remind the members, a SACCO is important, and it is a very well-formed organization. So it is not an individually owned group of people, but it is owned by all members who join the SACCO. The SACCO is also not a pyramid scheme or some form of merry-go-round. It is now more structured and more grown, and it is not a bank and or maybe a loan shark. It is a profit-making organization, but that profit is not the motivating factor. We want to get together and promote our socio-economic well-being. So the profit is not the key factor like the banks do. And also, banks are more profit-making financial institutions, but the SACCOs are not. And usually, there's a common bond among the members of a SACCO, such that belonging to the same organization or living in the same geographical area. So we have a common board mostly in the SACCOs, although now SACCOs are opening up. And in a SACCO, every member is an equal owner. While in the bank, you know that the ownership depends on the number of shares that a shareholder owns. In a SACCO, the board of directors are elected by members. And most of the time they are volunteers, they are not paid salaries, but just given a minimal sitting allowance. And boards of the directors are elected by the shareholders, they are elected shareholders. And the SACCOs, they hold annual general meetings, and every member has a single vote, regardless of the amount of savings. And so that is what sets us apart from the banks. And then another interesting thing is that in a SACCO, no single member is allowed to own more than 25% of the total shares. While in a bank, there are no such restrictions. It is based on how the shareholding. And the SACCOs also offer very competitive fees and lower interest rates on loans to their members. And actually, if you rate them with the bank, we hold better rates. And when we get in the SACCO, the net profits that is earned is shared between the members in forms of interest on deposits and dividends on shares. And so that is why the advantage of the SACCO. So why am I giving you all this perspective? It is just to show why that SACCOs are very, very important institutions, And that's why, sitting from where I am, it has been important to have them regulated. And that's why also the government found it necessary to have the SACCOs regulated. Now, coming to our own SACCO, Harambe SACCO. Harambe SACCO has had a very exciting journey of growth and transformation. And as you may know, Harambe SACCO was started in 1969 as a merry-go-round at the office of the president, and it was registered in 1970. And we have a strategic plan, and our vision, just to remind the members, is to be the most trusted SACCO. I hope members, you know this, so that we should be trusted in the way we deal with each other as members, and also the way we deal with the members when we serve them from the SACCO. Then we also have a purpose, what we call the mission. And our mission for Harambe SACCO is to empower members to live with dignity and accomplishment throughout their lives. So we want to see our members empowered through the joy of saving, having peace of mind, because they are confident to face financial uncertainties. So that is our mission, that to help our members live with dignity. And our values, we are accountability. So we want to hold people accountable for performance, empowerment. We give our people the legitimate right to make judgments. And on service, we are obsessed with serving our members. We want to serve our members well and continuously improve on service to the members and empathy. And we want to step into the shoes of our members so that wherever they are, when we serve them, when they come to the SACCO, they can leave the SACCO feeling much better and having been served and having improved more than they came to the SACCO. We have also made a lot of milestones since then, and including after registration, including having this building, Harambe Plaza, which is owned by the SACCO, which was completed around 1986. And we also, we set up FOSAs in around year 2010. In year 2017, that is when we had the first mobile banking platform. We have a very, very robust mobile banking platform where our members can do their transactions online. And we also have an investment cooperative. I hope we'll have another chance to speak about the Harambe Investment Cooperative. And we also have online loans, especially from 2020 and the onset of the COVID-19. Most of the services were migrated online. And we are now working towards improving on our revenue generation, and also to make sure that by the end of 2025, when the strategic plan comes to a halt, all members of Harambe will feel well served and very well included in the affairs of the SACCO. Becoming a member of Harambe SACCO, we need just to remind the members that now we are the number 4 performing SACCO in the whole of the country, and we are continuously improving. And we have also opened up the common bond of the SACCO, and now we have, it is open to membership. So the categories of membership in Harambe, we have individuals who are on check-off arrangement. I think most of the members who are employed. We have non-check-off arrangement, where we have people, employees, business people, small businesses, SME, diaspora, members, their spouses and children, and also wafanisi. Wafanisi is that our members, you don't have, now once you retire, you don't have to leave the SACCO, you continue working with us, and that group, we call them wafanisi, and would encourage all our members to keep it with us, to keep their monies with us even after they retire. Then we also have another category of membership, the chamas, which are the self-help groups, the welfare groups, community-based organizations. Then we also have corporates. And we have conditions for joining. For individual members, it's 1,000 registration fee, and 300 sync monthly, and 3,000 minimum monthly contributions, and 30,000 share capital contribution. And this, for the Chama membership, it's 2,000 shillings registration fee, 5,000 minimum monthly contributions, and 30,000 share capital contribution. For the Wafanisi members, these are the members who have retired. It is 1,000 Kenya shillings, minimum monthly contributions. And you can get the information on our website in terms of the conditions, the documents that are required for you to join. So like we said earlier about the statistics that members that I read to you, obviously you can see there's reason why now we need to regulate the circles. And there's a regulatory framework that has been set up in Kenya, and to be able to regulate the circles, because then we need to keep all these funds secure. So the first, going to the regulatory framework, the instruments, the first one, members, is the Constitution of Kenya, which is a fundamental law upon which all the other laws of the land are entrenched. And so that is the first thing that governs the circle. Everything that we do must be within the Constitution. The number two is the Cooperative Societies Act, Cap 490 Laws of Kenya, which is the primary registration that governs circles in Kenya. And it was enacted to provide legal structure for cooperative societies, and it outlines the formation and the registration and operation of circles. And it is the one that emphasizing on the principles that we talked about, the issues of participation, the democratic control, equitable distribution of benefits, and all elements of matters cooperatives. So that is the first act that regulates the circles under the Commissioner for Cooperative Development. And as you know, we have a state department for cooperatives that also includes the SMEs. Then we have the Circle Societies Act of 2008 and regulations of 2010. This is the one that established the Circle Societies Regulatory Authority, SASRA, as you may know. This is the oversight body of the circles, and it regulates the circles, it supervises the circles, it also licenses the circles to ensure that these institutions are within the set guidelines. So the SASRA deals with licensing, the deposit-taking circles like ours, and also the deposit-taking circles. And how they do it, it involves even checking on us. Circles give monthly reports, and the SASRA also does on-site checks. So this the Circle Society Regulatory Authority also does other several things. It gives prudential guidelines, what we call prudential guidelines for the circle. And these prudential guidelines to the circle, they promote sound financial management practices. And these guidelines cover various aspects, including adequacy, that is capital adequacy, risk management, and liquidity, safeguarding the interest of the circle members and securing their funds. Other than the prudential guidelines, they also have the SASRA encouraging that we have credit information sharing. So the circles play a vital role, like we have seen, in promoting responsible lending. And to be able to do that, we are members of credit bureaus, so that every time we are lending to a member, then we can check how their credit score is, so that we make sure that we make good lending decisions, and that we give loans that members who can pay and who are credit worthy. Then the other thing that the SASRA guidance does, and the laws that govern the circle, is consumer protection. So we have the Consumer Protection Act, and this one emphasizes on consumer protection, setting standards for transparency, disclosure, and fair treatment of members. And us as the circles, we have the mandate to provide clear information on our products and services to the members, ensuring that the members can make informed decisions as they patronize our services. So that is also another regulatory framework that regulates the circles. Then we also have the issue of circulars. SASRA also issues periodical circulars and guidelines that guide how the circles should be run, just to make sure that everything is going okay and to safeguard members' funds. So, for example, we have circulars on how we engage with third parties in terms of system integration. We have a guidance on corporate governance, how the SACCO should run, the governance framework. We have guidelines on complaints and management by SACCO societies. This is a framework open to members where the societies, we as societies are supposed to make monthly reports to SASRA, reporting all the complaints that the members have made to us. And this is a further check and a regulation to ensure that SACCOs are run well, and that also members' complaints are dealt with well and effectively. We also have compliance and enforcement, and SASRA actively monitors the SACCOs to ensure compliance with the legal framework. And what they do, we do monthly reports to SASRA, but they also do on-site inspection every other time. It could be after 3 years, it could be any time it is open. And it is a mechanism that ensures that there's stability in the SACCOs, there is accountability, there is integrity, and that this is all to foster trust and for the members to feel secure that their funds are in good hands and that the SACCOs are run properly. And other than that, we have the other laws that also govern the SACCOs, and now the other sector laws. We have issues like, we have the code of conduct from the cooperatives, which guides how the members and the SACCOs, all members of SACCOs should be able to run. And I invite the members to just read. You can find it even on the internet. We have things like insurance laws. They affect us as a SACCO because we have an insurance agency. We have data protection laws. We have tax laws. We have the unclaimed financial and assets laws. We have the labor laws because, you know, we engage staff. We have retirement benefits laws because of the pensions, the NSSF laws, now the SHIF, the OSHA, things to do with the county bylaws, Public Officer Ethics Act, and all other laws. They also guide us in our operations depending on the matters that we are dealing with. The other thing is members. We are also members of we also have things called apex bodies. These are organizations, these are national organizations where SACCOs can join. And for example, we have the CUSCO, we all know CUSCO, which is a training and it supports SACCOs in training and advocacy. We have CAK, which is the Cooperative Alliance of Kenya, in where our chairman is also the chair. And this is a lobby and advocate for a favorable and enabling policy and legal environment for cooperatives with the aim of creating harmony in the cooperative movement. Then we have the Cooperative Bank, which is our lender, and they also have a consultancy arm, which also does consultancy services. We also adjudicate like the Ushirika days that we have. And then we also have CIC Limited, which is the insurer, and they insure our loan guards to make sure that our loans are well taken care of. We also have now a body called SACCO Central, which is also a secondary cooperative, and whose members are the cooperatives we have subscribed to this. And the purpose of this is to provide a centralized shared SACCO services to its members, including looking at the issues of liquidity and SACCO interlending, so that SACCOs can interlend each other, so that then we reduce the finance costs and also the use of the shared ICT platform. So those apex bodies are the bodies that SACCOs can go to just speak and advocate for them. Then we have, just to say that in a nutshell, is that the SACCO governance, if you look at all the SACCO governance, we have now the acts that we have seen. Then now drilling down to individual SACCOs, we have the supreme body of the SACCO governance is the annual delegates meeting or the annual general meeting. In our case, and I'll explain later, we are a delegate system, meaning that because we have many members of Harambe, not all members can go to the AGM because we have over 79,000 members. So we have delegates who represent the members from their various electoral zones. And so you have the annual delegates meeting, which is the supreme authority, and then which elects the board of directors. We have 11 of them. And then we have the supervisory committee, also elected there, who have a role of oversight, and there are 3 members in the SACCO. And just also to mention to the members that our SACCO, Harambe SACCO, is licensed by SASRA, and this license is renewed every year, and that should give an assurance to the members that our SACCO is doing well. And like I have said, I've explained that now we have the annual delegates meeting, then we have the delegates who are elected at the branches by their members. Then when the delegates come to the ADM, they elect the board members and also the supervisory committee. Then the board is the one tasked with the, appointing the staff. The staff are led by the chief executive officer. Our CEO is Dr. George Ochiri. And then we have the workforce, which cuts across all the branches. We have 5 branches. We have the headquarters in Nairobi. Then we have branches in Mombasa, Nakuru, Eldoret, and Kisumu, and a marketing office in Nanyuki, which is now currently undergoing renovations to be upgraded into a fully fledged branch. And all this is ongoing. Very soon it's going to be opened as a fully fledged branch. So I have explained about how the governance is in the SACCO, and I've also explained that now, other than the acts that we talked about, we have the SACCO bylaws, which I would also invite members to go through, because they govern now, they determine how the SACCO is governed. And these bylaws are harmonized with the model bylaws that were issued by the Ministry of Cooperative Development and also by SASRA. Then we have, and these bylaws are reviewed from time to time, depending on the emerging issues in the registration. Then we have, as a SACCO, we have a strategic plan, like I have said, running from 2021 to 2025. And then we also have policies and procedure manuals in the SACCO, and these ones are reviewed from time to time, and all these policies and procedure manuals are approved by the regulator, SASRA. And of course, I said we have the guidance circular that we get from time to time from the regulator. So now, members, I think you have a rough idea how the SACCO, the structure of the SACCO. And maybe just to say, I thought that it would be wise also to remind the members that if you look at the bylaws, they allow for admission of membership, and that's why you are members of the SACCO. But I thought it is important just to remind the members that you have rights and you have duties. Every that has a right, you also have an obligation. And so maybe just very quickly, just to remind you that the bylaws outline the rights that the members have, and you can read through from clauses 9 all the way to 26. And they talk about members' rights, their obligations, about the admission qualifications, cessation of membership, how you can stop being a member, and also that you can also elect a nominee. And so some of the rights that the members have is you have a right as a member. Now, as we are delegate system, so at the branch, you have a right to participate in the decision making of the at the branch meetings. And because these branch meetings now, the decisions that are made there is what the delegates bring to the ADM, and they come now to the main SACCO through the delegates, because this is what you members are communicating to us through your representatives, the delegates. So you have a right also to vote and also to be elected as a delegate. And once you're elected as a delegate in the system, you can also now be elected also to the other organs of the society. And as a member, you also have the right to use all the facilities and services of the SACCO, subject to the bylaws. You also have a right to receive periodically and regularly, upon request, a statement of account in respect of your transactions with your society. So it is your right. Then you also have a right to access all legitimate information relating to the SACCO, including internal regulations, registers, minutes of general meetings, annual accounts, then inventories, reports, and subject to the regulations in force. You also have a right to transfer your shares or deposits, to transfer your shares. You also, and also to share in the profits of the SACCO that the SACCO have made. These are the dividend on shares and interest on deposit of the society, if declared. That is when these are declared by the SACCO. And don't forget, this is declared also with the approval of the SASRA, the authority. So we said you have a right to vote in all matters, and also you have a right to appoint a nominee in case you're not there, who can take up your shares in case of death. And members, they also have a right to ask for a special general meeting to discuss issues of the society. And You also have a right as a member to withdraw from the society, because we have seen you have a right to join and you also have a right to withdraw or to exit from the society. Of course, this is not what we desire, but it is your right. And when you have a right, members, you also have duties and obligations. So your duty as a member of Harambe is to make sure that you attend and participate in passing resolutions at the branch general meetings, because this is the only way you can give your feedback and also state how you want your circle to be run. You also have a duty to observe and comply with all the society bylaws and decisions made by the society. You also have a right, a duty to buy and pay for shares or make any payments as provided for in the bylaws. You also have a duty to patronize the society products, because it is only when we trade with our circles that we grow as a business and as a circle. So you need to patronize the society products. You also need to attend member education meetings so that you can learn what's going on in the circle. You also pay, and also it's a learning experience. So when we also get to the education meetings, the society also gets to learn from you on the feedback, which is part of education. Then you need to pay your debt and obligations with the circle, be it the monthly contributions, be it the loans. You need to pay, and you pay in a timely manner so that everything runs well. You also need, it's your duty also to protect the society image, because we need to build our brand. We need to be proud of our circle. We need to build our image. So it is also your duty to protect the society's image, and also refrain from engaging in fraudulent activities against SACCO or other members. Like we saw that one of the ethical principles of SACCO is honesty, is integrity. So you need to refrain from doing any fraudulent activities. You also need to comply with the code of conduct that is set out by the Cooperative Ministry, and you also be loyal and honest in dealings with the SACCO, and also refrain from skyrocketing or even brokerage harmful to the circle. Then we have said you pay your loans as per the agreement and promote the society and its service or product. You're also a marketer. You should also be marketing the society product so that we can get more members into the circle, in terms of get more members into the circle, and also get the members who are into the circle to patronize the society product. Because sometimes we find that we have so many members who do not have loans to the society, and we want to do business with you members. So please come and patronize our products. Then you say pay the debts of the society at the time of liquidation. If it is, I hope you don't have to get there. And then you also need to support projects of the society approved by the relevant authority, that is the SASRA, and also the ministry. Anytime we have a project, we have to get authority from SASRA. And once this is done, members, we should support the project. Like now we have a lot of projects in the investment society, and I think we ask members to patronize these products. So members, I think I am done with the issues of the member. Just to take you through, the governance of the circle, and also as a member, how you come in and the rights that you have. But I invite you to read the society bylaws. It gives you details on everything that you need to know. So members, just to remind you that you subscribe to our channel, you like us, visit us, our pages, and you like the other platforms. And just to welcome you all again. Before I got in, I saw Dennis and I saw Edu in the forum, in the webinar. Well, thank you, members. Welcome, and those who are joining now. So members, now I would like us to look at another issue, which is normally we get a lot of feedback. Where I sit, I deal with the delegates, the issue of delegates, and we get a lot of feedback through them from the members. And one of the thorny issues is the issue of guarantorship. Members, I know each one of you, if you have ever taken a loan with the circle, you have been guaranteed, or maybe you have also guaranteed another person. And I just thought it is important for us to know how this guarantorship works, so that before we guarantee a loan, we have really thought about it, so that we also improve on the quality of guarantorship, so that then we are not having so many people defaulting, or guaranteeing people who end up defaulting and putting you into a lot of problems. So just to see why do circles require guarantors? SACCOs, we require guarantors to mitigate the risk associated with the loan taken by the member. And a guarantor, I think, like you know, is an individual that agrees to pay a borrower's debt if the borrower defaults on their obligation. So you as a guarantor, you're not the primary party to this agreement. You're just actually considered an additional comfort by the lender. So for us, we get a bit of comfort knowing that loan X has been guaranteed by James, and we think it's an additional guarantee to us. And it also mitigates the risk of the SACCO, as the lending, it does not incur excessive risk in issuing these loans. It is a way for people who need financial assistance also to secure funds when they otherwise may not qualify to acquire them. You know that sometimes you have a loan of about 100,000. Maybe you have deposits of 100,000. You'll be able to get the times 3. So that multiplier is a guarantor stands in. And then also having a guarantor on a loan agreement, it greatly benefits the borrower, and it allows for an agreement to be approved much faster and for a higher amount, as if unlike when you did not have a guarantor. So unless you self-guarantee yourself, you need guarantors. And what you now need to know is that if in event that that borrower has not met the obligation, you, the guarantor, must meet the obligation. Actually, it is a must. If you look at the loan form that the society gives you when you're applying for a loan, please make sure that you read all those conditions that are there. And it states very clearly that in case this, there are several guarantors to a loan. So it states very clearly that in case this loan is not paid, you, all guarantors, are jointly and severally liable to pay that loan. So it is very important that we understand this aspect of guarantorship. So when you want to be a guarantor, that guarantor, you should be a member in good standing. That means you should not be a defaulter, you should not be a dormant member, and you should also have a strong credit score and insufficient income to be able to meet that obligation of being a guarantor. And the other thing is that it is important, what I would like you members to know and maybe to take home, to make sure that the guarantor is someone who you have to know that you'll be responsible for that loan if this other person does not pay. So members, being a guarantor is not merely a formality to help the borrower. The guarantor, you are also equally responsible to pay off that loan. I think if you don't take away anything else, that is what you do take away from this webinar, that you are really responsible for paying the loan if the borrower does not pay. And failure to do so could result in legal proceedings that could affect your credit score. And so, you maybe just to a guarantor, I think what a guarantor should consider, maybe to look at the risk. Just look at the risk that you're exposed to. The risk you're exposed to, that if this person does not pay, you'll be able to repay the debt. You're supposed to repay the debt and you'll be held accountable. So the what you need to do is that make sure that you know this person well before you guarantee them. So in as much as guarantors are, it is associated with being a risk, as a guarantor, you also have some rights. And one of the rights you need to have is access to information. So this right, it gives you as a guarantor authority to obtain information about the debtor's financial situation and status before you give out the loan. So it is your duty as a guarantor. When Kamau asks you to guarantee him, please check out how is he, come to the SACCO, find out what is his status of in terms of the loans and all. Is it a person that you can guarantee? And then you also have a right to be able to get, if this person defaults, you can get back the money from them. Of course, you can go to the this is an appeal process, because you'll have to go to the tribunal. It is not the SACCO that is supposed to get this money for you. And of course, you can also make sure that you keep the person you have guaranteed on their toes. Just check periodically, is this loan being, is it performing? Is it going on well? So that then we are able to, if there are any problems, then you're able to know early before you get into problems. And of course, this person you have a right to indemnification, meaning that the person that you guaranteed is the one who can be able to refund the money that they have already paid in your behalf. Now, maybe a defense that a guarantor can have in case they are not able to in terms of not being able to meet the liability, they can say they were coerced into signing this form. This, of course, is an uphill task because it may be extremely difficult to prove this. And also, just to let you know, guarantors, that you cannot revoke a guarantee if you already have guarantee until this debt is paid in full. You can say, I don't want future debts, but for the one that you guaranteed, you have to repay it in full. And maybe another thing you may have is to say that this contract was, there was a variation of the loan form or the loan agreement without your knowledge. If, for example, you signed up for 1 million, and then you realize that now you're guaranteeing that person for maybe 4 million without your consent, then it means that you can go to court and have this guarantee discharged. But to note is that once you are guarantor, the burden of proof is on your side to always say, I did not do this. And that's why it is very important to make sure that you choose your guarantors, the people you guarantee wisely. Then the other thing is that, of course, if you show that there was no good faith, maybe in terms of the SACCO or maybe the creditor, but again, you'd have to prove this for you to be able to be discharged from this contract. So, in summary, what I would say about guaranteeship and a member, what should you consider before you sign a guarantee for somebody's loan? As you have seen, it is usually a risk, so it is crucial for you to consider whether this person will be able to pay. So you need to ask yourself, what type of loan are you guaranteeing for? Is it a long-term loan? Is it 1 year? Is it 10 years? You need to look at that period so that you decide, is that what I want to guarantee? Then you need to find out, do a KYC on this borrower. How does this borrower operate? If it is a company, have you looked at their business plan? Have you looked at their financial statement or their revenue? Have you seen whether their business is in good health? If it is an individual, just look at the credit score of that person. Come to the circle, find out how has he been repaying his loan. Do you know him well or her? Do you just take a form, a blank form, and you fill it? You need to even, I would encourage members, look for a circle of friends, people you know each other well, members you know each other well, and then you can form a circle of friends to be guarantee each other. So that then you don't end up in a situation where you are guaranteeing somebody who you don't know, and then they default, and then you end up being disappointed. Then you may also want to know, how much are you guaranteeing for? Are you ready to guarantee such an amount? That is something you need to know. And also know how much you need to be in devote in terms of interest, in terms of the fees and the penalties. And then for collateral loans, sometimes you have the loans where you have to give up your properties, like maybe a title and things like that. So you need to find out what is needed. Will I be required to give up that loan? So find everything you need to find out about that loan. So my advice to members, just look at that loan agreement form. Don't just sign a blank form and then you say that I did not know I was granting this amount, or I did not know this member well. Just get full information, full disclosure on everything about that loan. That is the amount of the loan, the interest, the fees charged, and any other charges, and whether they are secured by any assets, and the length of the loan, and the number of the repayment in terms of the NAN. And then if you're applying for the borrowers, there need to be full disclosure so that then you as a guarantor can make an informed decision. And like I have said, you take away home that what I would like the members to know is that it is not the duty of the SACCO to follow up on the borrower who has defaulted. It is your duty, because when you undertook and you signed that guarantee, you undertook to pay up the loan in that case that loan is not paid. And the other thing is we have seen the legal action can be taken against you if you don't pay. So even on behalf of the guarantor. So it is good to know your guarantors well. And also the other thing you may need to know is that there are usually a lot of questions that we face issues where you have guaranteed a person and they are defaulter and then they pass on. So in as much as when a person dies, that loan should be written off. The insurance does not write off a loan that for a member who was in default even before they died. So members, you really need to note that, and that's why you need to keep on checking with the members on what needs to be, how they are repaying their loans. Then I think under like we have seen, the guarantor you should actually know that it is your responsibility to pay the defaulted loan. And as a member, you need to be very mindful of becoming a guarantor, as it is not a mere comfort that is being provided to the SACCO on behalf of the borrower, but is a direct legal and financial obligation being assumed by the guarantor. So it is your responsibility. And as a member, you need to assess the impact of becoming a guarantor by analyzing the financial and legal risk that will be resulting from providing such a guarantee. The decision to provide a guarantee should be well thought through, and the contract of guarantee should be properly reviewed, read, and understood. And proper guidance should be sought by the member from the SACCO in order to ensure that the contents of the contract, that is the loan agreement of the guarantee, are in line with the agreed commercial understanding between you and the borrower, and also between the SACCO, so that you're in full knowledge of what you're getting yourself into. So members, I hope you have that's about it on the guarantee, and I'll be ready to ask questions. I'm almost done. I've seen some questions coming through, and I'll be able to answer the questions that are coming through. So now, the other issue, members, is the issue of the succession or the next of kin. And we thought it was necessary because we deal with these matters on a day-to-day on our desk. And these are cases where, unfortunately, our members pass on. So when the members pass on, we need to pay the amount that we owe them in terms of their deposits that are in the SACCO. And there's also some benevolent amounts of money that are paid in terms of like funeral expenses, just to support the bereaved family, the next of kin, in burial preparations of our members. So like I said earlier, it's a right of a member to appoint a nominee. It is in the society bylaws. And a next of kin is a person who you nominate as a point of contact. The person we can talk to in case you are not there, and the beneficiaries are the people you nominate to receive your dues in the unfortunate event of death. Normally, next of kin is a term used to describe a person's closest living blood relative whom the SACCO may contact in case of any eventuality. And sometimes it could be a closest living blood relative or relatives like your children, parents, or siblings. People related to you by law, like your spouse or an adopted child, are also legally considered your next of kin. And a nominee can also be anyone, including a family member, a friend, or even a trust or charity. And the beneficiary can also be anyone, including a family member, friend, or even a charity. So the nominee may have no legal claims to the assets, maybe just a channel to give them to the right beneficiaries. So what I'm trying to say, members, is that you should have very clear records. We have in the SACCO, we have a next of kin form where members should indicate clearly who they would want their dues to be paid to in case they are not there. And why I'm saying this is because the next of kin is important to name them so that we don't have problems or issues trying to find out who is going to be paid this amount of money. So we have a form in the SACCO where you should fill. And the form provides clearly you should indicate whether there's a spouse, whether there are children, your parents, and also a place where you indicate how the dues are going to be paid proportionately. You can add put percentages. So members, what I would encourage you to do, please, kindly, constantly update your records. You are free to update your records, whoever you choose, because it is a voluntary nominee. But please, just indicate clearly, in case I'm not there, these are the people to be paid, these are my beneficiaries, I would like the amount to be paid like this. List all of them. Even if it is more than one spouse, list all of them, list all the children, indicate the percentages how they are going to be paid. The other thing, please indicate their numbers, their telephone numbers. Their telephone numbers are important, the accurate ones, so that when we get them, we are able to reach them effectively, and also to be able to assist this next of kin at their time of bereavement, even for things like the burial money, which they usually need. Members, the other thing that I would like to remind the members, which is very important, is that we find that members are not really updating their records. We find that most people put in their records when they were employed when they are young. So they have come, they have gotten married, they have kids, they have wives, they have husbands, but they have not updated their records. And then when they pass on, unfortunately, we have so many people claiming. And now when we have such disputes, our bylaw says that we pay to the nominated next of kin. If not, if there's a dispute, we can now just pay to the appointed administrator, which could be by going to court, or we take to the public trustees. So members, we ask you to do that. The other thing I would urge the members is that ensure that you always bring the other thing why you should update your records is so that also the insurance doesn't give us problems in terms of acknowledging who is there. They should always have the records that you have. Then the other thing is, the members, we realize as members, you need to tell your family, at least inform somebody in your family that you are a member of a circle. And in case of my death, I can be able, people should claim, because we are finding that there are people who unfortunately pass on, their families do not know that they have circle benefits, and they take too long to come and claim. So when they take too long, because according to the agreement we have, the insurance, when a person, the claim should be made within 6 months of a person's death. So when they fail to do it, then we are not able to claim in good time. So please ensure that you have informed your family that the next of kin. And then also the other thing is, if you don't do it, you risk having your money sent to the Unclaimed Finance Assets Authority, and then it will be an uphill task now for your beneficiaries to go and claim there. So members, I think that is what I had to say about the next of kin. Please update your records and make sure that you have told us clearly who should be paid in case of death. And make sure that when you are asked to bring the documents should be properly done so that the claims are done faster. I think that is what I have to say about the next of kin. And then the other issue we talked about, maybe we can have another webinar another day, is the issue of conveyancing in the circle. As you may be aware, we have loans that are given on collaterals. You can get mortgage, you can bring in your titles, you can bring in the car, or any assets that you may have to get a loan against. They are subjecting through the process of doing due diligence, having the evaluation with the lawyers, and also looking at the registration. And then it's a whole process, and we deal with that at the legal department. You can be able to get all that information about the collaterals. So members, thank you very much. I think we've been having, thank you so much for being attentive and for listening to me, and also for being very interactive. I know our team at the circle is answering to the questions, but there are a few questions that I've seen. I've seen Bwana Isaiah Mwanda, our very strong delegate. Thank you, Mr. Mwanda, for tuning in. I've seen Boaz Odongo, and please is saying, please form a special desk at the legal to follow up on defaults and catch up with them and to ensure that the return to that guarantee can be relieved. Mr. Odongo, that is well taken. That is good feedback. But I know, like I have explained, the first duty lies on the guarantor. But as a circle, we will help where we can. Kelly Chimlaki, what do you do to those people who default loans? I know as a circle, we are also assisting to follow up on the debts by appointing debt collectors. But Kelly, like I have said earlier, the primary duty of following up on a guarantor on a defaulter is the guarantor. so that you make sure that you follow up on him, and you also, if he has defaulted and you know where they are, because occasionally we get members telling us this person is still on payroll and you're deducting, bring them to us, let us know where they are, and we reactivate that account. Thank you, Kelly. Alex Hanjari, Karibu. I had, you said that One Point Society gave members share capital certificates of 30,000. Now that the minimum share capital rose to 50,000, will you be given new share capital certificate? Yes, Alex, I can confirm we'll give you a new certificate once you attain the 50,000 mark. And thank you, Alex. And then you said you're in the process of digitizing electronically the share certificate. Change in share amount will reflect automatically on electronic share certificate. Yeah, that is, I can see that has already been answered, and that is the correct position. Titus Jomo, thank you for listening in all the way from Kainuk. And affectionate but Gladys, who represented child members when they are in need of loans. So the retired members, when they're in need of loans, you also on the, now loans are online, and you can be able to get them. But I know where you are as a retired member, you still also have delegates there. But going forward in future, the SACCO may also consider having a representation for Afanisi members. But for now, Titus, I would say that the representatives of the ground in your electoral zone, whether you're in Turkana or Oloitoktok or Nyanza, we have representatives all over the country. Then James Kiugo is listening from Moyale. Thank you, James. And thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have enjoyed the webinar. And Catherine is asking, what happens when a person one has guaranteed passes on and had defaulted the loan? Catherine, unfortunately, the insurance, you may just have to pay the loan, because if he died as a defaulter, unfortunately, you don't get a refund or reimbursement from the insurance. So the members just have to make sure that they pay the loan in full up to the end of the term of the loan. So members, so those are the questions that I've received so far. Maybe I'll be ready to take in any other question that is remaining. Thank you. And I just request you to still subscribe and like our pages and patronize the SACCO services. Thank you so much for being members of Harambe SACCO. We value you. Your future is our concern. Thank you.